With 12 days of fall camp, how would you just judge where you guys are at right now?
Pleased with our progress. There's a lot of improvement, both individually and collectively. We got a long ways to go, though.
Jeff said get 1% better every day. Stack good days after good days. What do you feel like today was your 1% better?
Yeah, it was solid. You know, we're trying to address a lot of specifics. I think Coach Lanning's been doing an awesome job putting us through a lot of situations and taxing us. So I think we got a chance to improve if we can put ourselves in a lot of situations that are going to actually occur on game day. So that's our goal. And pleased with the guys, the way they're responding to those situations. And then it's also obvious that we got a long ways to go and some things to improve on.
One scrimmage under your belt, where are you looking to get better the most going into Saturday?
We need to get better everywhere. There's no doubt. So, you know, we're going to address it of the how and not just say get better. But I think, you know, seeing our group overall and their commitment to being elite competitors, you know, we got a bunch of guys that are committing to be mentally and physically tough. And what I'm starting to see over here after a few weeks now is the leadership start to rise, and that's awesome because we need that, you know. And we see it through individuals and specific units where leadership starts to rise and people are really reacting to that.
Is there anyone that surprised you in that leadership role? You didn't think necessarily coming in that they were going to step up and have one of those voices, but they really have for you?
No, you know, I think what's necessary being a new staff, and you know, we're not going to really put much on the past and feedback from others, so kind of more so an open stage for anyone in that role. If you work your butt off the field and on the field, you're going to gain respect from your teammates. So putting those individuals to be comfortable enough to lead, and I think that's what's starting to happen here.
The last time that we talked to you, you talked about how your defense, you were proud of the way that they finished, but the way they started, you didn't really like. Are you starting to see a little bit more consistency from them in those plays?
Yeah, I think we're attempting to still do that. You know, I think today was a good example where it was a full batted day. You know, there were some moments right there where, you know, I think again it all rises with the leadership within, and seeing some individuals step up in some moments on, you know, rep number 6 or 7 of a fast-paced tempo-type period. You know, that's where it gets exciting to see, you know, from the sideline where guys are able to step up and still communicate, you know, and instead of the communication get isolated, you start to see that leadership rise and putting more premium on communication, which is going to allow us to function at the highest level.
Who are some of those players that have kind of stepped up in that regard?
Yeah, I think, you know, Jeff Bassa stands out as a guy that's attempting to communicate better. We had a great rep from Brian Anderson, you know, out there that same thing where he's demanding, you know, if we're in a, you know, a specific defense and we shouldn't be, you know, to recommunicate it and get us in the correct call.
To go back a couple of years, Tosh, how aware were you personally of Triquez and being the, you know, state leader in interceptions at Alabama when you were still at DC there at 2A Lynette, and now here's this player 4 years later and what he could mean to you? Just what were you seeing in the change from him from what you saw as a high school senior and junior to what he is now? Yeah,
I knew of him. It was quite a while ago, you know, so he was just a youngster then. But he's someone, love being around, love his presence, and you know, he's got some length, he's got some speed, and what you love about him is he's got some versatility. So, you know, he's somebody that can play multiple positions, just like we're asking him to do right now. And I think he's taken that challenge on and embracing it, and you know, taxing himself mentally.
You first met Dan at Alabama, right? Not before that. Or did you meet before?
Yeah, that was our first acquaintance when he was at Alabama.
I know that it was at your wedding when Sophia first really kind of began experiencing a lot with the leg and the knee. How have you seen, since you're obviously very close to him over the years, just how have you seen that period kind of change?
I think, you know, Dan is someone that embraces adversity, right, and truly is a so what, now what individual. You know, that he's been through a lot. You know, there's been times of humble beginnings and it's an awesome story. So I think you see that every day in him, you know, that he truly does believe back up his words, and every day when he talks about demands what he wants from our staff, that he's living that as well right there with you, and that's always awesome when you have a head coach that's right in the fire with you. I think that shows every day. You know, the adversity that he's overcome from the past, it comes out every day. He demands a lot out of the players and the staff, and ultimately that creates, you know, the culture that I want to sign up for.
When you obviously know him, his story as you do, and at Bama, he's 29, he's a GA, you're 31, and that capacity as an analyst at the time. How, in your estimation, has he gotten to this point, 36, to be one of the youngest head coaches in college football?
I think embracing a growth mindset, you know, that's what he's doing every day. And, you know, that was a big part of me coming here, was knowing what I was in store for and coming into, and being a part of an environment that's going to constantly challenge myself and have that same growth mindset to, you know, not just demand it out of our players, but ourselves and our staff, that we all can get better, myself included, and to lead by action. I think that's what Dan represents.
About 2 weeks out from the first game, are you starting to crack into some of that Georgia game film and start getting a scheme for your guys?
We got so much more to go just with our own team. That's really where the focus is, you know, is improving every day on ourselves. So not a lot of talk about that at all. More so just addressing our internal issues out on the field, what we need to do to improve. And, you know, when it gets closer to game week, we'll start ramping it up as far as opponent preparation.
Going back to Jeffrey Bossa, you talked about your intensity a little bit, and you know we've seen it and heard it a lot during practice. Like, and you said that intensity kind of starts sometimes in the meeting room. Is there something you do to kind of get yourself, you know, into that mode or hyped up at all, get to that mode?
No, I'm just gonna be me. So I'm a passionate individual. I love it. I'm utterly obsessed with ball and what I do, and so I think it's important that as a coach that you bring juice and energy, and it's contagious. So I think there's a fine line of, you know, someone that's just being loud and someone that's bringing content. So that's my goal, is to bring content, but to do it with passion and energy.
Tony called Dorlus the alpha of this defense. Just your opinion of just what kind of value does he bring, and what have you seen from him to kind of get that praise from his coach?
I think he's, you know, we've only had about 2 weeks now in pads, but he's done everything we've asked of him. You can really see him. He's starting to come into his own here with some confidence. So I think, you know, as he really gets the system down, he's another guy with some versatility. So it'd be an individual that we'll ask to do numerous job descriptions from him. I think he embraces it, he studies, he loves it, and I think he wants to play at the next level, so it's important to him.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, now have a good one.